Ravens are the biggest winners in the AFC Northeast offseason.
This is a team that consistently is going to be in position to contend because of how talented they are. The reality of it is those guys can play.
The AFC should watch out for the Baltimore Ravens this season.
Players in the NFL, certainly one of the best players at quarterback. They got a guy at tailback in J.K. Dobbins, who I think could be an all-pro. They got one of the best tight ends in football, a plethora of perimeter weapons, some health on the offensive line, a very good defensive line, one of the better young linebackers in the NFL, and a top 5 secondary. And no one talks about it.
Yo, what it is? Welcome back to ATB at the Bank, a Baltimore Ravens podcast. Yo, and I can't wait to really drop this episode, man. It's going to be real dope, man, because y'all already know that I always keep the good guesses keep coming in, and this time I have a dope super fan, man. Like I said, man, I had him on my show last year around this time at My Thoughts, My Opinion last year, and we had a dope conversation talking about the Ravens. And now, since I'm on the Ravens platform this year, it's only right that I have this super fan back on into this show and to introduce the rest of this Ravens podcast out here to know that we have great fans here in Baltimore, man. So I would like to introduce my fan, man, my super fan, my guest, the guy that has a real pillar into this community, a guy that's, if you have been to any Ravens events, you ran to this guy before multiple times. I guarantee you, because he's always there at a Ravens event. I would now like to introduce my guest, Captain Defense. What's going on, Cap? How you feeling?
Good morning, man. I'm doing great. It's kind of hard to get used to a non-Raven football weekend, but I'm just kind of chilling and relaxing. I just got back from the gym, but I'm feeling pretty good. And you?
I'm doing good. I feel you. Like, no Ravens this week, man. It's just going to be very uninteresting in watching football this week, man.
Yeah, we can watch everybody else lose.
Pretty much. And I'm hoping that we can get Kansas City to lose. We can get Miami to lose and Jacksonville to lose so we can stay in that number one spot in the AFC.
Yeah, it would be nice to have a home playoff game.
Oh, yeah, it would be nice, man. Baltimore would go crazy for a home playoff game.
And even an AFC championship game. Wouldn't that be nice?
Woo! That'd be a great thing, man. I swear that would be a great thing. The city would be alive. It's already alive now during this great season that we have. But
yes,
let's talk about you for a minute, Cat. Let's get the fans and get the people to understand where did the name Captain Defense come about?
Well, when the Ravens first came here, I used to go to the old Memorial Stadium, and I had a big cardboard sign with a defense on it, and I always yelled defense. Well, this girl about 8 years old, she came up to me and said, "Hey, mister, are you like the captain of the defense or something?" So at that time, I wasn't looking for a name. I wasn't even really thinking about it. So what I did is, I like to sound like Captain Defense. So what happened is, a couple of games after that, I went to Walmart and bought some white iron-on letters, and I was ironing on the back of a T-shirt. So my wife come in and saw me ironing Captain Defense on the back of a shirt. Mm-hmm. She says, "Who's Captain Defense?" I said, "I am." "When did you become Captain Defense?" I don't know, after I finished ironing these letters on it. So it kind of took off from there.
Okay. So you brought back like a historical moment. I'm pretty sure like a lot of new Ravens fans would not know, like, what is the Memorial Stadium? Like, what are you talking about when you say you went to the Memorial Stadium? Tell the fans, these new Ravens fans, what is Memorial Stadium is or was.
Well, one thing, the seats were a lot cheaper. It was an old, worn-down stadium, but it had history. You know, the seats were kind of uncomfortable. We had passionate Ravens fans back here. We used to tailgate, but it was an old stadium. And what happened is, a lot of times you would put up with the stuff. The fact that we had an NFL team, we didn't care about the external stuff. We had a team that we can call our own. So that kind of made things a lot better and a lot more to deal with because we had our own team.
Right. Man, because Memorial Stadium, man, every time I ride past 33rd Street, I just look at that YMCA. It was like, just imagine, years ago, you never existed. This was the whole stadium right here, before the Ravens Stadium, the M&T Bank Stadium made it to downtown. Like Memorial Stadium, was our first stadium and everything. So, so you, like you said, you went to the couple of games. So after you went, you on your captain defense letters on, and then you will start going to games. Like, did the recognition started right then and there, or it took some time for you to get where you at now?
Well, like I said, I didn't have a plan. Sometimes God has a plan that you knew nothing about. So anyway, so I just had captain defense on that, and then my outfit was just a regular T-shirt and had like an Uncle Sam hat. So what happened is about 2 or 3 games I have to have Captain D on the back of the shirt. They call me Captain D. So this guy comes up to me and he says, "Hey, we're having a bowl, an oyster roast. We'd like to invite you to one of the Ravens roosts." And I said, "Sure." And I didn't know the guy, so I came home and told my wife. I says, "What's guy? This stranger invited me to a bowl and oyster roast." And I said, I didn't know the guy. And she said, "Well, maybe he think he's somebody." I said, "I guess. I don't know." So he invited me, and then it took on, and then my outfit changed over the year. I used to go in the Halloween store that was over. They have them Halloween stores pop up, and I used to go in there. And then my outfit. I spent 24 years in the military, so my uniform have a military theme to it. So as I got more notoriety, people recognized me, and then it kind of took off from there. I didn't like I said, I didn't have a master plan. I just do what I do, and whatever happens, happens. So that was my plan, just be the best fan I can be was my motto. I wasn't competing against nobody else.
I don't think nobody can really compare to you, Cat. I think that you are really one of the biggest fans that we have here. And that's why I said I'm a fan of yours, because the passion that you have, you're not doing it for no recognition. You're not doing it for, any other thing. You're just doing it because you are a true fan of the Ravens. And that's why I'm a true fan of yours, because like I said, it's all about the passion. It's all about, it's not all about the recognition, anything in that nature. You just going out there living your life,
Yeah. But when you're different, people will come after you, right?
Right.
I tell young people, if you stay down and do nothing, people will leave you alone. But once you start rising and make your mark, people will come after you, right?
Right.
And my mother's told me a long time ago, if you're having fun, you're not hurting nobody, do your thing. And people say, "Hey man, you look weird." And people think you're weird and crazy. I don't worry about other people think, because too many people are living their lives what they think. If you buy a new car, they're going to talk about you. If you get a new job, they talk about you. If your podcast is #1, they're going to talk about you. So I was having fun and I was in joy. But one of my first stories is in Old Memorial Stadium, they had a day you could pick your seats.
Mm-hmm.
So they had all the players lined around the stadium. So I'm near the front row. I'm walk up to this guy. And I asked this guy, I didn't know much about him. This is for social media and YouTube and all this other thing. So I asked this guy in front of me, I says, "Are you any good?" He says, "I can kind of hold my own." He happened to have jersey number 52 on at that time. So he said, "I can hold my own," is what he said. I said, okay. So
and we clearly can see he held his own all the way to the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
So like you said, once you started getting noticeable, everybody started knowing captain defense, and you're starting to be able to go into all these different events now. So tell us a little bit about some of these events that you go to.
When I first started doing it, and when I first started doing this, I said the fans will make me who I am. The players come and go. So what happened is I used to just started going to these events on my own, like Mothers Against Drunk Drive, 5K race to suicide, different events. I would just show up, right? Nobody asked me. I would just show up in captain defense. So the more I started showing up, the more people started asking for me to come back.
Okay.
And then M&T Bank I don't know if you remember that commercial, M&T Bank put me up on a billboard.
Yes, I've seen that.
So what happened is, and I told my wife, once M&T Bank put me on a billboard, people can say that, okay, he's okay. If a major corporation puts you on a billboard, that means you're a legitimate person. That means you won't mess up their brand, and they're comfortable doing that. So I've been to weddings. I've been to 15 viewings of Ravens fans who passed away, and they had a view and had their Ravens jersey on. I talked to teen moms. 2 weeks ago, I spoke up at a Jewish synagogue. I spoke at a men's group at a Jewish center. I spoke the Christian thing. So my thing was, I made myself so Captain D can fit in anywhere, right? And so that's what I did. But what happened is, and I tell people, too many people are afraid to be themselves, and they're afraid to be different. And I tell young people, there's 20 people in this room. What makes you different? Why should I hire you over the 20 people? But you're too scared to be different. You want to be like everybody else. So Captain D was my brand, and I took it to the next level. And I tell people all the time, there's 71,000 Ravens fans, and there's 71,000 people who know I am. You know, I try to be nice to people. I be the common. I go across all social, economic thing. So that means I can fit in there. I did, like I said, then one time I spoke at a Christian youth. 2 weeks ago, I was in two schools in Baltimore. I was at John Henry Elementary off of Schroeder Street. And then I read books to another school near the stadium. So I kind of, go to different places and expand my brand. But it's been a lot of fun. I meet a lot of people doing a lot of great things. And I'm not a negative person. I'm a positive person by nature. And then I started understanding social media and start, saying good morning, because negativity is easy to find. And I tell people on my social media, I have a pretty clean social media page because people follow your lead. Whatever I put, they'll follow my lead. I have no personal attacks. I have no politics. I have no religion. And you're not coming on my page and make a personal attack. So that's my brand. And I tell people, I'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies. I'm not chasing numbers. I'm chasing quality. And then I have a manager. It's for people with disabilities called Caring Communities. So I make people ask me to come places. They'll make a donation to my charity. And I've done many things over this year that I'm proud of. And I try to make a difference in the community with all negativity. I try to project a little positivity.
Yeah, and most definitely you do. And like I said, that's another main reason why I am a fan of yours, because it's never a time that when I hop on your social media, any of your social media, because I follow you on all your social media platforms. It's always strictly, positively good mornings, and this is what the Ravens is doing. And even though that the Ravens might have lost Mark Andrews, you still found the way to, keep the positivity going and stuff like that. So you most definitely look at the glass half full than not looking at it half empty.
Well, because if the Ravens lose a game 37-0, I point out the facts. But at the end, the fans want hope, right? Little hope. Yeah, we got blown out 37-0. Like last year, we lost 4 or 5 leads the first 2 games. I think Buffalo, Miami. So I said, well, it's better to happen week 1 and 2 than week 10 and 11. So fans want a little hope, because there's 1,000 negative pages that you can go to, and everybody has their own page. And I don't criticize people. Whatever you put on your page is fine. But people know when you get a notification from me, it's going to be something positive. Like I'll put, Lamar Jackson can't throw three interceptions against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't sugarcoat that. Well, he can't. But I pointed out, but at the end of it, fans want a little hope. Say, hey, we'll get better the next game. We're still in first place. We're on the game. So fans want hope. And I try to protect that in my personal life, because I have 2 daughters, and I spent 24 years in the military. So there's a lot I learned about, people want hope, and people kind of look up to you for some kind of guidance, and people want positivity. Negativity is easy to find. So that's what I try to project, and that's been my motto.
Right. And then like I said, you keep the positive going. It's like so much that now that yesterday I seen when I seen you on your social media that you was able to have a tour around the Raven Stadium yesterday. You was able to go inside the offices and the locker rooms and stuff like that. Let's talk about how was that? How do that feel? You get to walk around M&T Bank Stadium.
I've been there before, but there was parts I went to. This lady I went to some networking event. Some lady from the real estate said, Captain D, I don't know how those tours work, but she said she can invite 20 people. So she reached out to me, and I said, sure, I'll go. But the last time I went in the locker room, but I went up to the medium center, and where they got to view the whole stadium. They showed the replays, and it was amazing. It was and then I saw those phones that one said offense and one said defense. I thought that was pretty cool. And I got to sit in the broadcast booth, and I saw where all where the announcers sat at. And I saw the visitors' locker room and the Ravens' locker rooms. The visitor players have a long walk from the locker room to the tunnel. I did not know that. I think that was intentional. And,
it should be.
and that's why the visitors sat on the sun side, and it's because it's a lot warmer on the visitor side where that sun is at.
Right, man. And them visitors should have a nice long walk, especially that long walk to shame coming to losing to the bank, so they need to have that walk. So like you say, now that you'll be able to, put your brand out there, you're able to go to these different events and stuff like that. It's like, are you looking to either be the one that hosts events and stuff like that in the near future, anything, or you just want to continue to keep riding the wave that you're having?
Well, I'm no. Can you repeat the question? Do I want to be what? Can you
I say, do you want to be the person like how people give you the tours and say, "Hey, Captain Defense, would you like to do this?" Are you open up to being that person to give out the tour? Like, say, if you can have a free tour for somebody to go to a Raven Stadium, are you looking to give out those free tours to people like that?
Yeah, well, actually, I never really thought about it, but that's something. I have no limits on myself. I don't set limits. Other people might, but I do. That's in fact, I never really thought about it. But now that you mentioned, that might be something I look into. But yeah, I don't mind. I have no comfort zone.
Right.
People have comfort zone. I have no comfort zone, but that's something nice, and actually, it's a great idea. I'm glad you mentioned it. I'll write that down to maybe do that sometime. It's an excellent idea. And as I tell people all the time, I don't know where I don't know what you don't know where good ideas come from, right? Mm-hmm. And so I try to tell people, but that's an excellent. I'm gonna try that and try that and do other stuff. And I'm getting more into motivational speaking. Like I said, I spoke at the Jewish Center, and I try to lift people up. And because I'm a reader, and I recite poetry, so I read poetry and recite it. So if you go to my Reels feed, you'll see it sometimes. I did a little Shakespeare, but I'm willing to try anything to expand my brand and try to impact more people. Because at the end of the day, if you're not helping others, like what are you here for?
Yeah, most definitely, and just to always keep this in the back of your mind, since I kind of gave that idea,
Yeah, I'm gonna keep. It's a good. I'll keep your name. If I do it, I'll keep you in mind. I give credit if I got an idea. I give credit to where I got it from. I'm not. I like helping other people out.
I just want to be able to go on the tours and the events that you be going to sometimes.
Okay, I tell you what, if I go on a tour, you'll be on my list. Trust me, I'm gonna find out how you go about doing it, and I have you on the list.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about, Cat. That's what I'm talking about.
Thank you for throwing it out there.
No problem. Like you said, sharing is caring. My idea might help your brand grow even bigger.
Right. And so each one teach. I believe in helping other people, but some people get caught in a bunch of nonsense. I'm not competing with nobody but myself. That's my only competition.
Right.
And if I can help somebody, by the way, did you know I wrote a kids book, right?
Yes. Yeah, I knew that. Yes.
And so that was something I'm proud of because I'm a reader, and I read a lot. So I thought I have a kids book. It's kind of my life, and you get it on my website. I have a manager. She kind of manages that. So somebody will send her request for a book, and we'll mail them out. So it's a good book, and it's nice and colorful, and it's one of them books you don't need to wear your glasses on. I intentionally made the print big, so that's a pretty good accomplishment. And, I enjoy writing it and talking to kids and reading it to kids. In fact, this week I'm going to a daycare, some kind of preschool daycare, and read the book. And then Tuesday I'm be up at Lexington Market in front of that big mirror up there. I guess they have a bunch of Ravens fans taking pictures in front of the mirror at Lexington Market for some promo, I guess. But I like doing what I'm doing. I'm having fun and I'm enjoying life. And the more impact I get people, the better. And I try to help young people also, but some get it and some don't. And also I was mentored to big brothers and big sisters. I did that. I had 2 young men I mentored. Then I was a mentor for the Journey to Manhood program where they assign you with a couple of youth, at-risk youth, to try to put them on a straight and narrow. So that was a challenge, but that was fun also. I got something out of it. So
Okay, see, that's what I'm talking about, Cat. You always put your hands in different things, like you said. You're never uncomfortable with doing different things. So that's why I said I love what you do, and that's why I pretty much love watching you do what you do.
Yeah. But I tell people, whatever you do in life, you got to be different. But what happened is, as I tell you, if you want to do something different, people will come after you. But some people can't handle the heat because we doing it this way. Hey, that one guy's podcast, he crazy, man. He's not like us. Well, I'm not meant to be like you. But when you step out of your comfort zone, people will come after you. And like I said, because they want you to be like them. Right. So, whatever you do in life, say, hey, how's mine's different? Because people say, well, this is everybody else. And some guy came on my page. He was telling me something. He said, man, people think you weird. I said, I went to your page and you just like everybody else. I said, how are you different? You just like everybody. He said, well, this is everybody's doing. This is what everybody's doing. Well, that's what the problem is. Everybody's doing it. Are you scared to be different? And some young people are afraid to try something different. They just are. So I'm not. I tried stuff. I tried a couple of T-shirts, didn't make it. Tried some other stuff. I try stuff and I move on. Right. I try this and I try this, and if it doesn't work, I move to the next thing. So.
Right. Speaking of trying something new, let's talk about the Ravens a little bit, Cat. You see that now we are 9-3, sitting on top of the AFC. How do you think that Todd Monken has really opened up this offense? Are you enjoying Todd Monken this year?
Yes. He's using the whole field, right?
Mm-hmm.
Todd Monken holds the use field. Hopefully, before the end of the season, we'll get that deep passing game because they're open. Lamar's just missing them. You've seen enough. He's just missing on them long passes. And once we get that going, we be cool. But I like Todd Monken. Only thing about the last game, I said, don't run that jet sweep to Zay Flowers. Okay, I've seen enough is enough, right? But he's doing good. I appreciate he's doing, and the fact that he's getting Bateman is seen to be coming around. OBJ is working the middle of the field, so I like the play calling. Only thing I like that fourth down play, he hiked it to Gus Edwards the last game. With everybody, you got Lamar lined up out there. But anyway, but I like what he's doing, and he's gonna have to change things around when Andrews not there. But I'm comfortable. I like the way he's using the whole field. His concept of using the whole field and giving Lamar more autonomy on the offense to change plays. And there's a couple plays last year. One play in particular when he hit Bateman at slant for a touchdown. Lamar came to the line of scrimmage, and then Lamar saw the safety come to the line. Lamar immediately knew that there was no safety help, and he changed the play and hit Bateman on a touchdown. So I like that Lamar can change the play, and he's taking responsibility and accountability to Monken's offense. So I like that very much.
Yeah, I'm most definitely liking Monken this year. He's most definitely a bigger upgrade and a different change from Greg Roman from last year. I think we are now using Lamar and all his abilities. We are now finally showing that he's not just a running quarterback.
Right.
He's able to break down the defense. He's able to read the defense. He's able to read his progressions and read each different receiver this year. And that's a great thing because at one point in time, it was questions that can Lamar read the defense? If it's the cover zero, Lamar don't know what to do. It seems like Monken has really gave Lamar an extra confident boost to say like, hey, we're going to get these plays in quick, so it gives you time to actually read the defense. And once you're able to read the defense now, the show is yours. We already know that you're a dynamic quarterback. It's like now it's just you need to hit the numbers, hit the plays. And now us giving him weapons, as far as like you said, OBJ, Zay Flowers, Bateman finally waking up, because that's one guy I've been waiting to see to actually start to wake up a little bit more is Rashard Bateman, because I feel like Rashard Bateman can be a number one wide receiver. And if he can just insert himself just a little bit more inside this offense, I think our offense will really explode a little bit more. But like you said, Mark Andrews now went down. What was your reaction of how Mark Andrews went down, man? It was like, for me, it was breathtaking. I was like, oh, man, it's bad enough that our offense kind of go into neutral mode, or it seems like our offense kind of go into quicksand. at times, especially in the third quarter.
Right.
Now that you're losing Lamar's safety blanket, guy that Lamar can always count on to be open, and even if he's not open, he still will have the best chance to have big plays.
Right.
What do you see Andrews' injury really changing his offense?
Well, he was Lamar's safety blanket. When Lamar got in trouble, he always knew Andrews, and Andrews was getting better, like the Kelsey. Andrews, if the play called for Andrews to run 10 yards, Andrews know how to cut it off at 7, depends on what the defense is. I think it's going to be a big loss, but sometimes now we have to win different. And I think likely, to me, likely is a good receiver. He's not Andrews, but I think with likely, he can lessen the loss of Andrews. And the good teams, injuries come, nobody feeling sorry for you. You got to stop on a dime and you got to go and you got to move on. And I feel bad for Andrews, but the season goes on, and I think Lamar is going to be okay. And we might have to win in different ways, but I think everything will be fine now because we don't have a true number one, which is good. You can throw it to, you can hit Zay, Rashad Bateman, or on OBJ. So I think we'll be fine. It'll just be a little different, but I think we'll be okay, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, I think we'll be fine too. Because now that since Andrews is not in the lineup, we are 4-0. So it
Right.
shows that we can win with Andrews and without Andrews.
Right.
And then also, there's rumors and speculations that Zach Ertz, it might be coming here. If Zach Ertz was to come here, do you think that he will boost us, or do you think that we will still be in the same type of offense?
No, I think. Well, he's got a 2.5 million is not a lot of money. That's his cap number. But I think sometimes people get open because of their reputation, right? Mm-hmm. Kind of like OBJ. OBJ ain't the guy he was, but he still got that reputation. And if you put Zach Ertz out there, somebody's going to say we have to know what he is. So if we can pick him up for 2.5 million, then why not? Because now you have to watch out for Zach Ertz because he's a proven veteran, right? And he plays for 1 year, give him 2.5, and have likely back him up, and you can have him likely at the same time. So it wouldn't be a bad pickup if we could somehow manage it cap wise.
Yeah, I think it would be a good pickup too. He's not Mark Andrews, no,
he isn't.
But yeah, like you said, you can put spotlights on him because he earned that reputation of getting double teamed and stuff like that, and he can come up with big catches also. Right. But I'm most definitely riding with Isaiah Likely. I think Isaiah Likely is a good young tight end in this league. He's versatile. He's not like your blocking tight end. This guy can get lined up as a wide receiver. He has the speed of Mark Andrews also, and maybe a little bit more elusive than Mark Andrews. Right. You see, Likely shows that he likes to jump over people, do that little hurdle and stuff like that. Right. So, and he most definitely got hot in the first half of last game. But I would like to see Likely continue to be assertive in this offense too, going into the second half of this season. Well, the fourth quarter of this season now.
Well, Likely can be a starter on other teams.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, he can be. You can line him up wide. You can line him up in the tight end, but Likely can definitely be starters on some other team. Without a doubt.
I most definitely. Speaking of another team, we had an injury early in the season. J.K. Dobbins.
Right.
Do you see J.K. Dobbins as a Raven again, or do you think that we will let him walk?
Keaton Mitchell is starting to prove that he's got to be on the field.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't. I mean, Keaton Mitchell got his opportunity to do it, and injuries are unfortunate. But you say sometimes another person's misfortune is their fortune, because if Keaton keeps doing what he's doing, catching the ball out of the backfield, I don't know. JK might not be here. It's unfortunate, and the injuries happen. But that's just how the NFL happens. If Keaton takes the ball and JK and Justice Hill, take us deep into the playoffs, then Dobbins can't You can't lose your spot in injury, but you can't put Keaton back on the sideline. And I feel sorry for J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah, that's how I felt. I felt like once J.K. went down this year, I felt like that was it. I'm a fan of J.K. and I really hope that he bounces back from that injury. But when you keep getting bit by this injury bug twice, first it was the ACL and now it's the Achilles, and you need your legs, you need your feet, especially when you're trying to be a running back. And then he was fighting for a bigger contract too. It was just like, oof, I just don't really see him coming back now.
Yeah, because what leverage does he have?
And that's how I look at it also, especially if Keaton Mitchell is being the guy that we all hoping that he's going to be. And Gus Edwards, it's just like he sniffed. As soon as he sniffed the end zone, he finds the end zone. And Gus Edwards, he took a nice pay cut to even come back this year. And I think that now that he's going to get paid next year.
Yeah, we got a nice rotation with Justice Hill and Keaton Mitchell and Gus. We got a nice 3-man rotation. We have no quote number one back, but each one of them bring a skill set that's that we can use, that Monken is using them in particular. Down the goal line, we pretty well know it's going to Gus, right?
Yeah.
So and Keaton Mitchell can catch the ball out of the backfield. But but like I said, the running back market has diminished. And the closer you get to 30, your value for J.K. Dobbins. The closer you get to 30.
Yeah, because you see how we still got Melvin Gordon on the lineup, and we don't even use him.
Yeah, in fact, I forgot all about him.
See, we don't even use him.
I forgot all about Melvin Gordon. Man.
And what type of luck he would have if we so happen to win the Super Bowl this year, because he was on the Chiefs when they won their Super Bowl team, and and if he wanted to win another Super Bowl again with us, like, wow, what type of luck he has.
Well, a lot of people was talking about picking up OBJ, and they was talking about Debo. I said, let me tell you about OBJ. I study people. OBJ got a Super Bowl, right?
Mm-hmm.
He got his money, and he's a father. Those 3 things change people. OBJ is not the same guy when he's 20. OBJ doesn't have to be the man, right?
Mm-hmm.
He knows that. He knows this is Lamar's team. Hey, just throw me a couple of catches. I'm not demanding the ball. I'm not fast as I used to be, but I still can get open, and I still have that respect on the field. So he's been a great signing. He's under the radar. He's comfortable where he at. He's not the OBJ of a couple of years ago. So he was a great signing. I told somebody towards the end of the season, OBJ's number is going to be called, and he's going to step up. He's just kind of, a couple of passes here and there, but going down the stretch, we're going to need him. So that was
I say the same thing. We got a couple of comments here. Cat, let's see what we have here. We got top of the morning, gents. We don't need another tight end from OG Matt. Oh man, but like we were saying, OG, that we feel like that. Ertz, we don't think we need him.
That's right. Correct.
But signing Ertz to us can most definitely open up the offense a little bit more, because, like I say, he's a proven veteran and he can demand some attention. What you think, Kat? Same thing?
Yeah, we're the same thing. Yeah, it's not necessarily a need. Do we need a tight end? No, but he's nice to have, and if it can help us out, why not? Why not for 2.5 million? That's, to me, the price is not bad. He's not coming here. He's not necessarily be the number one guy, but he's a help. He'll help us. It's not a need. There's a difference. Like you say, he's not a need, but he can complement what we already have.
Right. And then we got another comment. JK should be gone. Should have been gone. I ain't gonna say should have been gone, because I felt like JK still had something left to prove after his ACL injury. I felt like he still had something left in him. It's just that freak of nature, freak of accidents, that's just part of the game, and that's what he had, just freak accidents. We seen that when he tore his ACL. I don't think he should have been playing that preseason game, but he played that preseason game. You see that his knee went back into an awkward position. And this game, this year, when he tore his Achilles, I felt like he was making the come up. He was trying to make sure that he can get his contract. And he was doing good. It just freak accidents, you know. What you think, Pat?
Yeah, I was expecting big things from him. You know, after he came back from his injury, I didn't know who Keaton Mitchell was. I mean, who was our running back? It was Gus Edwards and Justice Hill. I didn't know Keaton Mitchell, but I was willing to give J.K. an opportunity and see what he does. You know, because he's proven that he could do it. And I said, oh, he's coming back and he's strong, he's ready to go. So and then the second time happened, and that's just the way it goes sometimes. But I was willing to give him the benefit of the doubt when he came back.
Yeah, same
before he got injured.
Yeah, same here. We got another comment. It says, man, I said I was going to get this guy name right, and I swear I'm never going to get this guy name. Vokaluk should be our tight end number 2. My tight end number, I forgot what jersey. It was a guy that he had a good preseason. I think I forgot the jersey number that he wore in the preseason, but he's on.
Not Cola, right?
No, it's not Khalil. No, you know, he's our third tight end kind of.
I'm trying to think.
He had a decent preseason. I can't remember his name because he didn't make the 53-man roster, but then he wound up finding his way back into the practice squad with us. But like you said, I think Khalil most definitely should be our second tight end because what he did last year and what he was showing during the preseason this year and the beginning of this year is like he's showing that he's a big tight end. He's versatile. We just need to probably see a little bit more from him so he can get on the field a little bit more. But I think that
I tell people all the time. I tell people it's not like we 3-9. I memean, you know, we don't have too many. Just a little. Basically, we're in a tweaking mode because we are 9-3, right?
Right.
We ain't 3-9. So Xerxes that could be a little tweak in there, and that's what happens. The great teams keep adding little pieces here, little pieces there. They don't settle. Okay, we're 9-3, and let's go forward with the guys we got. No, you need to tweak it a little here and there, and to make it even better for the stretch run. That's what I say.
Yeah, same here, Cap. Same here. Since we talking about great teams doing great things, we've seen that Lamar this year is having a decent season this year, especially his completing percentage. He is now 5th in the NFL with 68 completing 68% of his passes this year. Do you think that Lamar should be in the MVP conversation?
Yes, I think this will be the most passing yard. But go back to another point. People say Lamar can't read defenses. One of Todd Monken, he didn't have to read defenses. So now, you don't know what people can do until they have to do it, right? Because they're not asked to do it. Now he's asked to do it, and he's stepping up. But yes, he should be in the MVP, especially we knock off Jacksonville, a couple of these contenders going forward. No doubt he should be in the MVP, especially if we go deep into the playoffs, go to the second round.
Yeah. And
this is going to be the most passing yard. But yes, Lamar Jackson doesn't throw a lot, but he's taking advantage of his throws, and he's taking advantage of his throws. Give us 200 yards, 250, no turnovers, we call it. But yes, he doesn't have the flashy stats, but when your team is 9-3 and you got a good quarterback, then yes, he should be in the MVP conversation.
I most definitely agree with you because it's like last game, he was 18 for 32, 177 yards with one touchdown. Right. I think that's he did enough to win that game. He didn't have to overwild us. He didn't have to do the backyard football like we had with Greg Roman or anything in that nature. He played he dealt with the cards was dealt to him, and he played it well.
No, but some people. I tell people, when you got a top 5 defense, you ain't got to put up 30 points. All you got to do is, when you got a top 5 defense, you don't have to put up 30 points. If it's 3rd and 9, Lamar gets 5 yards, punt it, and see if the team drive 80 yards on that. He don't have to force enough. I got to make this third down. No, you don't. If you can't make it, you ain't got to force it. Just punt it and dare a team to drive 80 yards on our defense and see what happens.
Oh, Cat, you just one step ahead of me before we get to that defense. let's talk about Zay real quick.
About who?
Zay Flowers.
Yes.
At first, I wasn't sold on the Zay Flowers pick when he got drafted.
Right.
I was thinking, let's go straight defense. Let's get Joey Porter Jr. Let's get another cornerback that can play on the opposite side of Marlon Humphrey. And because when we draft corners, we draft well. When we draft wide receivers, it's like a hit or miss sometimes. So I first I was all in with going on defense, but now that Zay Flowers has really inserted himself into this offense and really showing his explosiveness and his elusiveness, I really had to second guess myself. Like, I'm glad I'm not the GM or EDC because, man, Zay Flowers is just magnificent. What is your take about Zay Flowers this year?
My question is, you can't give Lamar Jackson $50 million and not try to get him another weapon. That can't happen. I mean, you got to shoot for it. You got to keep drafting the wide receiver. You got to draft 2 every year, and hopefully you'll find one. But I said we need to get. I agree with you. Our record drafting wide receivers hasn't been great, but we had to at least try to give Lamar another weapon, and draft and say, I didn't know much. I knew him. I didn't know much about him, but he's kind of a lucid guy. And, as you well know, most of his yards come after the catch, but he's pretty lucid and he's a good route runner. And the thing about Zay can stop on a dime and then speed up right away and go 100. He can stop and then accelerate at 100 miles and he can do that. But like I say, he's still working out the chemistry of Lamar, but like I said, you don't know about wide receivers. And like you said, we haven't had much luck. But, I said, look, if we're paying Lamar 50, we need to give him another weapon. So Zay Flowers, he's a good pick. And I'm glad we got him. And he's working out. So just, he doesn't like, he's not like Marquise Brown would trip over a blade of grass because he don't like contact. So, I like Zay Flowers. And him and Lamar will make more connections on the deep passes as Lamar get better. I think he'll be fine, and I'm glad we got him.
Yeah, I'm most definitely glad we got him too. I'm glad, like I said, I wasn't putting that GM seat because I found Joey Porter Jr. He's having a good season with the Steelers. For what he's doing, he's finally able to be that starter over there in Pittsburgh. He's excelling to what he is. But Zay, he is most definitely he's big plays. It just seems like every time he touches the ball, you just know it, like, man, something is magnificent is about to happen when this guy touches the ball.
Yeah, and he makes people miss.
Yo, man, it's just like, just imagine if him and Lamar was together when they first came to the league. When Lamar first came to the league, it would have been ankle breaking season because when Lamar first got into the league, he was breaking everybody's ankles. And now that Zay's coming to the league, he's starting to make everybody's ankles disappear too. Man, these two would have been dynamic coming to the league together.
Yeah, Zay is doing pretty good. Of course, they wanted him to fall down, but Zay had no intentions of stopping shortly in. So he had no intentions. He was flying. He wasn't gonna stop.
Yeah, I'd rather him go ahead and take the points anyway.
Yeah, he did.
And because, like you said, our defense is strong enough anyway that the Chargers was already shooting themselves in the foot, and they wasn't really able to figure out what our defense was doing anyway. So I'm glad Zay was able to score.
Yeah, I'm happy for him.
We got another comment, Kat. What's both our thoughts on the Ravens having home field throughout the playoffs, and how deep would they go? Number one, that would be dope if we get home field advantage. Number two, I think it will work out in our favor for the simple fact that, say, Vince, we get Miami. Miami does not do well in the cold when it comes to November, December, and January. So if we so happen just to line up against Miami and Miami would have to come here, Miami had to come here and deal with that Baltimore cold. So I think that even Jacksonville also, will have to come here and deal with that Baltimore cold. So I think that will give us a nice home field advantage if teams will have to come up here and they're not used to that cold.
Well, when Patrick Mahomes said the two hardest stadiums to play in was M&T Bank in Seattle, did you hear him say that?
Yes, sir.
Patrick said, in the Cincinnati game, they had when the quarterback got Cincinnati game, the place right. If we get an AFC a championship. If the playoffs run through us, like you said, I told a friend of mine, he's a Jacksonville fan. I said, look, buddy, we play AFC North football. Cleveland in the rain and the snow, Pittsburgh in the snow, and Cincinnati. We play AFC. It takes a certain individual to play AFC North. Now, you come to that 80-degree weather if you want, but come up here in November or December, January. You'll be tested, or get out of the Dome Stadium. But, yeah, if they come through here, our odds will go up exponentially if the AFC runs through Baltimore. I have no doubt. I wouldn't be scared of Kansas City or anybody if it comes through Baltimore.
Nah, I wouldn't be scared either. You know what I mean? Because like Patrick Mahomes said, come in here, playing here, it's a different atmosphere when you got them fans like you out there, Cat, out there yelling and screaming.
You saw the Cincinnati game, didn't you?
Yes,
they had
sir.
trouble hearing. They jumped offside, and the place was rocking. And like the first time Kyler Murray said, coming to M&T Bank, it's hard as hell to hear there. That's what he said.
So just imagine we get that. Now let's talk about the defense a little bit, Kat. Let's talk about, like you said, and I've been saying it since week 1. When I had seen what they did to the Houston Texans, and then they followed up what they did in week 2, I was like, this defense is a top 5 defense. They are stingy, they are nasty, they are fast, they are physical, and it seems like Roquan and PQ are on the same page in that linebacker spot, man. And hats off to Mike McDaniels. I feel like Mike McDaniels has really put his imprint onto this defense, and he's really showing that he can be one of the top defensive coordinators in the game. Do you think that since he's really putting his imprint onto this game, do you think Mike McDaniel's numbers, his days are numbered here in Baltimore? Do you think that a head coaching spot is coming for him?
Well, I think he'll probably get a head coaching job, but I don't. He might not feel that he's ready just yet, right? He might say, I need another year, but he will be a head coach. It's just a matter of time. Now, if he want to leave after 1 year, and plus, he doesn't know the NFL landscape, because if you be a head coach, you got to find an offensive coordinator, you got to find a defensive coordinator. So there's a lot of players. There's a lot of people you don't know. You know, like a veteran coach would know all the people, but I think he would stay another year. But he will be a head coach because he's a smart guy, and he knows how to. He's a detail-oriented guy. He's about details. Yes, he's going to get a head coaching job one day. If that's the question, yes, no doubt he will be. I don't think next year, but I think he will.
Yeah, I feel like he's most definitely put his imprint onto the game, and I think like the NFL is really paying attention to him, because if you can have a strong defense, because our defense was good last year. He did a decent job to what pieces that he had last year, but this year, man, I don't know what it is that he really preached to them, or what scheme that because he didn't really change his scheme up from last year. But the pieces that we added and the scheme that he has had really implement this year is really having us really sitting here thinking, like, is this defense close to this 2000 defense? And my answer is no. I feel like that 2000 defense is, you will never see that again.
No,
you know what I mean? You can try to get close to the numbers as you possibly can, but you would never see that 2000 defense ever again.
No, but like I told somebody, this defense is making their own mark, and Roquan was the key because I was telling people, leadership is nothing, the ability to influence other people. That's what leadership is. Can you influence the people around you? Mm-hmm. Roquan coming there, because Roquan got a high standard, people want to live up like Ray Lewis. You don't want to disappoint Ray Lewis, and you don't want to disappoint Roquan Smith. And Roquan has a work ethic, and he backs it up. Mm-hmm. And so everybody feeds off of him. And then we got, guys, and we got some youth. We got, Kyle Hamilton in the secondary. So I think that, and we got a couple of veterans up front, and Clowney doesn't have to be the guy. Clowney, glad he got a job, and he's under no pressure. Hey, Clowney, do what you do, okay? Just
mm-hmm.
If you got 10 snaps or 15, just do what you do. But Mike McDaniel got this guy playing at a high level, especially with Kyle Hamilton in the secondary.
Man,
who's a jack of all trades.
I feel like Kyle Hamilton has really emerged to being one of my favorite Ravens this year. Like I seen what he did in Notre Dame, and I was like, wow, if he get put in the right system, sure he can be somebody in the NFL. And when we drafted him, I was like, oh man, he came to a team that's strictly defense. We preach defense here. And for this guy to be 6'4", 220 pounds, and he can run with guys that's 5'9", 5'8", that can probably run 4.4 flats or anything in that nature. He's finding some way he can keep up with him using his length and his height. Then when he plays in the box, he uses his weight and his height. And then when you try to line him up into the safety, he uses his everything. Yeah, and I found like I call him a Swiss Army knife.
Yes, that's what he is.
Once you pull out that knife, you don't know which one you're going to get. And all of those knives that you're trying to pull out is capable of helping you out throughout anything. And that's what Kyle Hamilton is really showing. Like, it doesn't matter where you line him up at. It doesn't matter who you line him up against. He's going to show out. He's going to show you that he is the guy. I'm starting to see that he is the guy.
Well, I have to give you my Twitter receipts from last year, December the 24th. I tweeted to Kyle Hamilton. I said, yeah, Kyle Hamilton. I said, you might make the Pro Bowl. I said, you get my vote. I says, but you don't have the name recognition. I got the receipt. I sent it to everybody. I said, don't go to Kyle Hamilton. December 24th, I tweeted out that receipt. I said, once you get that name recognition, you'll be fine. Because but the thing about I like smart football player. Kyle Hamilton is a smart guy. There's some players in the NFL, they think they can outrun somebody. But give me the smart players who think. And Kyle Hamilton is a think. He knows what the defense is trying to do to him. He knows what the quarterback want him to do. So he's a smart football player, and he knows about leverage. While a 100-pound person can flip a 300-pound person, it's all about leverage and what they're trying to do to you. Because what he does, he's pretty smart, and you can stick him in anywhere. And I knew he would be, I knew it'd be pretty good because I knew he was a smart football player. So
right. Yeah, he's most definitely showing something. And you know another player that's really showing up this year, that this name is going to really start setting the market for itself? Justin Amadubike. This guy is really showing off this year. The first Raven since 2017 to record double-digit sacks. And that was T. Sizzle, who the last person that did that.
Right.
And nobody had Justin Amadubike on their radar. Like, nobody. And this guy had a major step up. Last year, he was only to cover 4 sacks last year.
Right.
Just for all of last year. And he played every game last year. This year, he only played 12 games so far. And then this guy has 10 sacks. He is averaging in 8 games. What's his stat line? He averaged a half a sack in 9 games, and he's averaging a full sack in 7 games. It's like those numbers are like almost like an Aaron Donald. You would think that would be average and stuff like that. So, what's your intake on Justin Amadubike?
Well, see what happened is EDC knew what we had in him. Do you know why? EDC tried to sign him to extension last year. That's why he'd have got him cheaper. EDC, he turned down extension last year.
Because he knew, I guess he must have knew something.
Of course. but look how the price tag them went up.
Yeah,
from last year, 4 sacks to this year.
Yeah, yesterday's price is not today's price, Cat.
Right. So the Ravens knew. I'm like you. He wasn't really on my radar because it's hard for interior lineman to make an impact unless you're Aaron Donald, right? Mm-hmm. But he's exceeded my expectation, and I'm happy for the young man. And like I say, EDC knew what we had. That's why he tried to sign him. So I'm happy for him, and I hope he get 15 to 20 sacks, and I hope he get paid. That's my philosophy.
Yeah, I hope he get paid too. And it would be dope if he can catch up there with TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, with these sack leaders, because they are only just 3.5 away from him. They all lined up sitting at 13 and a half sacks. So when he come back, and we got the Rams this upcoming week, next week. So I hope Justin Madubuike can at least keep his streak going, number one. Number two, can catch up to Myles Garrett and them. And number three, get paid. Because
he's going to get paid.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Most definitely.
What would happen is, he's getting more name. First part, he wasn't getting double teamed. Now, as the recognition comes, people now know his name. So now the people gonna say, okay, we need to watch this guy. But I think he can handle double teams. And like I said, for an interior lineman to get that many sacks, it's hard. But he's definitely doing it. And I hope he get a couple of sacks against the Rams to keep the streak going. He deserved the money and everything that comes his way.
Yeah, most definitely. Another guy, a veteran guy. At first, I didn't see the fit at first, but now I see it. Kyle Van Noy. This guy, yes. He got some juice left in him. I was thinking that maybe he did a couple stops, at New England and Miami. I was like, if they didn't want him, why are we going after him? And right. I'm starting to see that he fits the Ravens way. He does play like a Raven. This guy still has a little bit of juice left in him. He's up there with 6.5 sacks this year,
right?
And he didn't even play a full season with us. And then he was the late addition. What's your reaction to Kyle Van Noy this year?
Well, sometimes you get a veteran guy that I don't have nothing to prove. All I got to do is do my thing. I ain't got to call the defense. So kind of like Clowney, just let him loose. But he's good. I mean, he's been a great pickup along with Clowney, because sometimes some signings go under the radar.
Mm-hmm.
Right, his signing went kind of under the radar, but he's been a great impact. He provides veteran leadership, and he knows how to use leverage and getting to the quarterback. But he along with Clowney has been great veterans pickup, and we'll see how the season ends. But I'm happy we got him, because he knows this place, and he knows this is Roquan's defense, and he fits right in.
Yeah, he most definitely does. Definitely does. Before I let you go, Kat, before we wrap this up,
now let me ask you one question.
Okay.
Let me say, what do you think Patrick Queen is Patrick Queen a product of having Roquan, or if he goes to another team, he's going to be just as good?
I like Patrick Queen, but I think that Roquan had elevated his game, because Patrick Queen he's your every down back. I can see him because he has the speed that he can play running back and your tight end. He has the aggression to hold that middle down. But what he lacks in is that he cannot be the only guy in the middle. And I think once you added Roquan Smith to with him, it was like, who do you seek your attention on? And it seems like now everybody seeks their attention on Roquan Smith. Well, now since everybody's seeking their attention on Roquan Smith, that leaves Patrick Queen to roam free. So now that he's not being double teamed. Lineman is not worrying about him when they get to the second level. They worry about Roquan Smith before they worry about Patrick Queen. And that opens up Patrick Queen a lot more. And now that he's not the main focus on offensive radars, he's showing that playing side by side with Roquan is the best fit versus him being the main guy, the lead guy.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better to be Robin. Yeah. Because what happens is, if Roquan goes to another team, you have big phrasing, we want you to be Batman. And some people can't be Batman. Some people can't be the guy. They can be Robin, but they can't be Batman. You know what I mean?
Right. All right, Kat, before we wrap this up, what do you see the rest of the season going for us? We are sitting 9-3 right now. We got teams like the Chargers. I mean, not the Chargers. We got the Rams coming up. We got the Jaguars. We have the Dolphins. We got Steelers one more time. And we also got the 49ers. How do you see us wrapping this season up?
Well, I think we'll probably lose one more game. What helps is we got the Steelers and we got the Dolphins coming here. That makes a big difference, right? And I think going on the road to Jacksonville is going to be a tough challenge. But I feel, we got one more. I don't know which team is going to lose to, but I don't think we're going to lose at home. I think if we lose a game, it's going to be maybe at San Francisco or at Jacksonville.
Okay.
And sometimes it's who we playing and when we play them, and like it's Jacksonville. Do they have that much lead in their conference? But yeah, 9-4. I feel we might lose one game on the road, but not at home. I think we're gonna go undefeated at home the rest of the season.
Okay, that'd be dope though, because I know in the beginning of this, once the schedule had came out, I had kind of gave us 5 losses.
Right.
I can't really remember which 5 losses I gave us because number one of those losses I did not count in Indianapolis Colts. So
right.
But I most definitely did give us 5 losses this year.
Okay. So you think 5 losses give us the number 1 seed? I guess it depends on how it play out, right?
I don't think so because I have to see Miami's schedule and I have to see Kansas City's schedule, their remaining schedule, because it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, especially you can't never count Kansas City out. You just can't. They always find some way, some will to snap that finger, and their offense is just clicking out of nowhere. Miami, they are like a flip of a coin. I just know that last year, once it got cold, Miami went cold also. So that's what I'm kind of based my opinion on. So I have to see. That San Francisco game is going to be tough, especially because San Francisco right now, they finally got healthy at the right time. They got their they got Deebo Samuel back. They got CMC back. They got Trenton Williams back. They went and got Chase Young from the before the deadline. And Brock Purdy is showing that he should be a quarterback to be talked about in this game. So that's going to be a tough game regardless. Whether we go in there or they come in here, it's going to be a tough game because 49ers, if the 49ers beat the Eagles today, it's going to be hands down that the 49ers are the big dogs of the NFC.
What are you taking?
I had originally took the 49ers, and I think I'm going to go ahead and still take that pick. So I'm going to rob the 49ers on this big game.
Okay.
But I still think that the Ravens are capable with our defense, that we can be able to slow down San Francisco when we play them on Christmas. But it's most definitely going to be a challenging game.
Well, that's good. I'm happy and excited, and I'm glad to where we're going. And I appreciate you having me on the show. It's a lot of fun. Let me know if I can do something for you.
Yes, sir. I most definitely need your help in something. We will talk offline about that. I most definitely need your insights and your brain power for this one.
Okay.
But go ahead and tell the people where they can find you at your social medias and stuff.
Okay, I'm on Instagram as Captain Defense. I'm on Twitter as DCAP. I have a fan page called Captain Defense, and I have a website, captaind.org, and I support caringcommunities.org as a charity I support, and I'm always around the community, and I'm always looking for things to do.
Yes, sir.
And I appreciate the Ravens fan support, because the fans make me who I am, not the players. The players come and go, but the fans are always the constant.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And Captain, like I said, I appreciate you joining. I appreciate you always. Every time I asked you to join my show and stuff like that, you was always able to say yes. Like I said, I'm a big fan of yours. I'm going to keep on being a fan of yours, and I can't wait for us to link up again, and hopefully we can do something different next time. Okay,
and as my tagline is, defense, don't leave home without it.
Yes, sir. All right, Cap. Catch you later.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
See you. So there you have it, Flockers. I hope you really enjoyed this show, man. As I told you, I had a special guest, man, and he was able to deliver his who he was and why he's one of my favorites, man. So as always, you already know, man, you always can catch the Grid Network, man, If you have not subscribed to us, make sure you do that, because the Grid Network is where you want to get all your information, all your sports stuff from. You feel me? Make sure you follow the Grid Network on all social media platforms and even YouTube. You feel me? Because when you do that, you are there to be different, to find all of our content creators is on here. It's Carving It Up with Bryce, All Even Podcast, Clutch Sports Talk, which is probably airing right now. Outside the Cage. You got Raiders Roundup, and of course you got your very own Mr. MTMO, My Thoughts, My Opinion Sports Podcast on this network. So please, dare to be different, yo. Come on there, show the support. Go to our spread shop so you can get hats, shirts, hoodies, anything that you're looking for. You feel me? So this dare to be different. Enter the grid. You feel me? And as always, big trust, because why would you trust anything? Yo, I catch y'all when I catch y'all. I'm out.